everybody. We are live back at our beautiful facility here, Village on the Park, with my good friend Jared. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Michael.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, you know, we had a little technical delay underway here, and we are, again, thankfully live and here to see this beautiful facility at Village on the Park. We missed y'all last week. We were across town doing a little bit of an event at Scissortail, the new development between our good friends here in Bentonville, Cave Springs, and Rogers. They just kind of have this little circle where they sit there between everybody right here. So it was a great time to interview those folks, but we certainly missed you and Mike and the gang over here, and glad to be back. So what happened while we were gone last week? It looks like you've got some events coming up.
Well, we do actually. We have an excellent adventure coming up on the 20th of the month. It's on a Saturday from 2 to whenever they clear out, basically. It's going to be a good time. We've got 2 bouncy houses for the kids, and since we have 4 courtyards here, we can put a bouncy house in each, and all the kids will be secure. We have plenty of windows to watch them through, so we'll do face painting, have an Easter egg hunt at 3 o'clock. And so it'll be fun. We'll have food and everything. And so you can bring the family, bring the kids, the grandkids, come out and have a good time. It's a community event. So it'd be
everybody
a good time.
welcome.
Yep, everyone's
welcome. And it's free of all things.
And it's free. So there you go.
Food. Corey's got to be preparing the food. I'm wondering what is it going to be deviled eggs and egg salad sandwiches?
I'm sure it'll be some kind of punished food that for the holiday for sure, but he looks forward to those things. He gets to be creative, and I think he really enjoys that.
Yes.
So
I think he also gets a little nervous when he gets creative as well. But
I think it's the crowd. See, he's a fretter. He's one of those. Oh my God, did I make enough? Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll have plenty.
Have plenty. Yeah. Hype the kids up on candy and lemonade, and they're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. So the kids don't care about the food as much as the adults do. No. They're here for the candy and
the bouncy house. The egg hunt, they're here for the entertainment.
Yeah, definitely.
Forget the food.
It'll be fun.
It's only after they've ran like a couple of miles.
Yeah, and it's a good, training for the next day when they wake up and the Easter bunny's delivered something to their house.
Exactly, all that chocolate, the Easter egg baskets, all the good stuff.
I missed doing that. I actually regret growing up. Not 100%, but I do. I don't get the bunny on Easter Sunday anymore. No,
oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I know. I should call my parents, ask them why. But there's kids in the family that will get that stuff. We'll have a good time. So
now I want to know a little more about this Easter egg hunt. So I'm sitting here envisioning how you are going to outpace the kiddos as they're hunting for the Easter eggs, because you are competitive, and so I'm trying to figure out how you're going to kind of slide the deck in your favor.
Well, I know where they're hidden because I'll be hiding them. So that's I've got that jump on those kids.
Got the jump.
And being bigger, you can push them out of your way and get to the chocolates first. But
a little tactical moving.
I probably won't do that just because they frown on me doing that here. But
that competitive streak comes out in you.
It does. It's just it's chocolate. It's sitting there in a little golden egg or something.
Exactly. So now you're not going to be hand painting any eggs as you're doing the dipping the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. But we will be doing face painting and stuff for the kids. So we actually have a couple artists that work here that do that, and. It was nice to find out that we had that connection here, and one of our people that work here, their family actually is providing, it's Affordable Inflatables is the name of their company.
Excellent.
And they're locally based, but they have great bouncy houses. So, and I did ask if adults could go into those, and they said yes, and so I'll have to test them out for sure.
I was going to say now,
for safety.
Thank goodness we've got a little delay, because on Wednesday then you might be back in form by then after you've basically cured all of your aches and ailments from doing the bouncy house. I remember the dancing that you got yourself into.
Yeah, I've learned a lesson from that, so I'm taking it easy now. Anything physical, I stretch properly before I have to do it.
Exactly. So and now I'm also picturing in the bouncy houses a little body armor contact going on there in terms of knocking those kids out of the way. So
I'm looking at future prospects. I probably shouldn't do that. So everyone's a potential client to me, even if they're only 5 years old. So there you go. They'll be retired eventually.
Exactly. Want to keep them, in good graces up until that retirement
good memory.
time.
Those memories you get in your early years are lifelong memories.
I can picture you and Mike running around the facility here with walking canes and, still doing the tours. And
yeah, I'm still trying to talk Mike into putting on a bunny suit for us, so he's a little resistant.
What's the deal? I mean, come on. It's the Easter Bunny.
It's Easter Bunny. It'd be fun. Take pictures and everything. You'll be famous for a day.
You're not asking him to dress up like hell.
Well, and he is a semi-actor. I was like, can you not act like a bunny rabbit for a day? So we'll see how that works out.
It might take him back to that whole straitjacket time that he spent a little time away.
State hospital. Hospital. I always thought those were good times. It's a 10-day vacation. You get away from everyone. They feed you. You got that nice padded room.
Exactly.
I don't see that as a negative.
Oh, well. Life happens.
Life happens. It is.
So, speaking of cooking and life events and things like that, we are coming upon my most favorite time here, which is the first brunch of the month, so to speak, under the direction of Corey again, Director of Dining Services here, and it is a beautiful spread that encompasses really joining, from what I see, the folks in the cottages, the folks here in the apartments, and even folks from over in memory care for that matter.
Everyone comes out for a brunch, and that's a great time to come by for a tour if you're just dropping in our building. Come by around 11:30 to 1.
Yes.
And we'll give you I'll give you a tour. We'll have some brunch. And
mimosas even.
Mimosas. Heck yeah. So
you can't
this is the catered lifestyle we're trying to introduce to people.
Exactly. And how did you get fortunate this time and lucky to be able to get the brunch calendar aligned this time? I mean, Mike typically takes that.
He does. It works out. Well, I'm unlucky in the lottery, but I'm lucky on the brunch Saturday. So I'll take it where I get it.
Food is where it's at.
Yeah, and that's really what's important.
Lottery's overrated.
It is.
Yeah. So, well, I'm excited, Jared, for the events coming up here at Village on the Park. You've got a lot planned. I can't think of all the kiddos that are going to come out and be able to run the grounds and hunt Easter eggs and, again, bouncy houses. My goodness, you all are going to have it all, including the food of all things.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be fun.
I need to come out for the food, if nothing else. But again, how do folks reach out to you all to see about getting here, knowing the directions to get here, the address, all that good stuff?
And so, most people know where the airport is, so that's our biggest slant. So I tell them, we're out on Airport Road, right at the big turn, where it curves. We're right there on the curve, so everyone tends to know that.
House,
But yeah, if you need directions or you'd like to RSVP, you can call us on our main line here at 479-254-3650.
Okay.
And we'll get you a spot, and just let us know how many you expect to come with you, and we'll put you down. And
Sounds great. Well, and also on your Facebook page, there's the information we were just showing earlier, that wonderful poster that y'all have there, the image of the rabbit. I was thinking that maybe next time we can superimpose Mike's head on top of the rabbit. And
no one would notice, I don't think so. But you can check this out, our Facebook page, or on Village on the Park, Bentonville.com.
Excellent.
And get all the information you need.
Excellent. Well, folks, come out on April the 18th.
The 20th.
20th, I'm sorry. Come out on April the 20th and have a great time here at Village on the Park. It is open to the public. Mike will not skew the Easter egg hunt. We'll have great food, bouncy houses for the kids. Everybody is welcome. Come out, tour this beautiful facility. Have your parents look around. It is a great place. Catered living. I'll tell you, it is just wonderful at the end of the day. And you can't beat it. The houses are gorgeous. The cottages, rather, are gorgeous, and the apartments. Folks, Jared, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out, spending a little time back with us this morning. We are glad to be back here, and we look forward next week to being here, and we will see you shortly. Who's up next? Well, that's a surprise. We'll be right back.
I was looking for a place where my mom would be safe, and where if she fell, I knew somebody could get to her. I needed to know she could get her food, her meals. I needed to know that she wasn't alone and lonely.
It's tailored, it's individualized. Every resident seems to get what they need individually, and there is a real concern for what that individual need is. And there are people here to accommodate that without being condescending, and really lifting up the resident. That makes a huge difference.
Coming here and be able to share your life together and become an extended family for each other is what's really been great for us. We love it.
I think my mother really feels very much at home. She loves her living space. She has a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, very cozy place. All of the things that she loves that really, really worked are there in place in a beautiful way.
The people around here are so friendly and willing to do most things, and they have so many activities for us planned every single day. They give us a activities chart every month, even for the restaurant. They give us a menu every day. Every week we get a new menu, so we know what we're going to eat.
I can't tell you how my mom she's just blossomed. She's so happy here. And she looks 10 years younger. She's walking much more. She got no exercise at her home. She's walking all over the place, and she's become very social, which I never thought my mom was very social. And she just, it's saved her life. It really has.
Hey, good morning. I'm Carrie Perrin-Smith, your Justice of the Peace for District 5, which is squarely in Rogers, and also your segment host for the Good Morning Neighbor Show. And so this morning, I am super excited to talk about home inspections. You guys know I love real estate, and I really enjoy watching it as a hobbyist. I've been an accidental landlord and all kinds of things. It's like I just really enjoy the whole process and all the science that goes on in the real estate transactions. So this morning we are here with Tom Bramlett, and he owns A to Z Inspections.
Correct.
Anyway, welcome, Tom.
Well, thank you.
So let's talk this morning about the kinds of services that you offer, and inspectors in general.
Well, our main business is doing home inspections for people who are buying homes. Sometimes we're doing them for people who are pre-listing homes. In fact, I've got a realtor that called me that we're doing an inspection for tomorrow that wants her home to be pre-listed inspection, because she wants to know what's wrong with the home before she lists it, so that they can take care of some of those things and it not become an issue when they go to sell the home.
Right. Now, how often does that happen?
Actually, the pre-listing is not nearly as big of a part of our business as when a buyer's already got it under contract and they're wanting it inspected for the purchase, pre-list, for the real estate transaction. And then we also, in addition to doing home inspections, we do a variety of services. Our name, A to Z Inspections, we picked that name out because we wanted to focal on the point that we don't do just home inspections, but we do indoor air quality assessments, we do mold assessments, we provide a large variety of consultation and inspections.
Interesting. Now, when you're talking about indoor air quality, is that just mold? Is that radon gas? What?
When people are talking about indoor air quality inspections, the first thing that comes to people's mind is mold.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of things that bothers people besides mold. Sometimes it can be leaking ductwork in the attic or in the crawl space, and they can be sucking in dust or insulation out of those areas. Sometimes it can be mold. Sometimes it can be just because a house is too damp, and dampness itself is one of the things that can bother people. So sometimes it can just be excess particles because people aren't very clean. So radon is part of it, but that's a small part of the total picture.
Right, right. So it's amazing to me that people don't ever open their windows. And our houses today are so tight that it really is important for people to air their house out once in a while.
It really is. I've always been a proponent that houses need to breathe.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of things that people don't think about. I personally, when I was weather tightening my home a few years ago, I saw a little gap along the side of the door there, and I decided I'm just going to leave that there because
Yeah.
I want to get a little fresh air in. Now, a lot of people have allergies, so they close up the windows and everything.
Right.
But when that happens, what happens is that the air particles that are in the house, they begin to build up and accumulate. So you've got more particles that you're breathing there, so you have more problems there that can lead to air quality or can contribute to asthma
Right.
and things that are related to that.
Well, and it's amazing, you know, your textiles in your house, your carpets, your drapes, you know, they emit chemicals so many times, and then off-gassing from new furniture, from the finishes that they're using on new furniture. I mean, our houses are bombarded with chemicals and that have nothing to do with outside things like mold, and it's just really important that we, you know, give our houses a chance to air out once a month. And
It really is a good idea because a lot of homes today are being built so tight, so energy efficient, that you don't have a chance to get that fresh air in. And you can actually create situations where the house itself can make people sick just because it's so tight and because you don't get any fresh air in. Some homes are building so tight nowadays that builders have actually started bringing fresh air into the home through the heat and air system.
Interesting.
Because of that.
Interesting. So that's a key thing. So now, if a homeowner decides to do a pre-inspection report, do they have to disclose that when they list the house?
That would be something that the realtor would have to tell them. A lot of times, somebody that's selling the home, they're wanting to know exactly what is going to be discovered in a home inspection so that they can take care of it. And they're wanting that for their benefit. At other times, the house itself may be in such good condition that they may decide to go ahead and give somebody the home inspection or the pre-listing report. But either way, it's an advantage for them because what happens a lot of time, if you lived in a house for a while, you may not be aware of certain issues and concerns. And then you go and somebody else comes in and inspects it, and you get so shocked and surprised that you've got this issue that it almost has stayed with depression. You don't know how to act, and it can be a hindrance for you making the proper decision for going forward for helping that house to sell. Because that's what you're wanting to do when you put a house on the market. You're wanting it to sell.
You don't want any delays. You don't want any surprises.
No, you want it to be able to sell. You want to know what you're dealing with so that you can head those things off.
That's right. And there's so many things that to a trained eye they can head off an issue, you know, if they know what to look for. And that's the key thing with using an inspector is they know what to look for where, you know, a lot of homeowners don't recognize a warning sign of something that could be a problem if left unattended.
I see that all the time. I go into a home that is a certain age, and I expect almost to find a particular issue. Like, for instance, a lot of homes that have been around for several years may not have an expansion tank above the water heater. And I go in, and when I'm inspecting the water heater, I see an expansion tank there. And one of the thoughts that come to my mind is it's either been inspected already or it's been pre-inspected and it was brought up, so they took care of it. So now I don't have to deal with it in my inspection.
Very good. Now, I understand you're also doing inspections for builders on new construction. Why did they choose that? You'd think that everything would be great, right?
Well, I had a builder contact us recently that's building quite a number of new homes, and he wants these pre-listed so that he can find out what needs to be done and so that he can have his subcontractors take care of them. He doesn't want it to bog down, or he doesn't want somebody to come in and find out you've got a particular number of issues that need to be taken care of so that it can expedite the process.
Yeah, I mean, that makes so much sense too, because I mean, there could be a window leak, and you know, where the builder would not want that to continue, but the longer that it continues, the worse the water damage gets. And suddenly you're making a huge, change or a repair on a house that all it needed was, to properly reseat the window and recaulk
Correct.
it. And, so but unless the trained eye knows that, and a lot of times you could have that leak behind the blinds and you may never open the blinds in that room, and then one day you walk in and the smell of mold is crazy in there and you're going, where is this? And it could have been fixed so early. So it makes sense for builders to do that as well. And I think to be able to know that your house has a clean bill of health ahead of time, I think is important. So.
Well, I've never seen a perfect home, even a brand new one. And builders, they know that there's things that have to be taken care of, so they expect you to give them a list of
That's
things that
right.
need to be done.
Right, and it's just hard, especially when you've got more houses going up. So, so Tom, how can we find you and A to Z Home Inspections?
Well, you can find us on the internet, a-zinspections.com. You can call us at 479-443-4431. My wife answers the phone at all times of the day. She's my partner. She allows me to be free to actually go out and do the inspections and write the report. And she gets to deal with people every day and make the appointments and tell them how much it's going to cost and that kind of thing.
Well, excellent, excellent. Well, this is just so exciting. So really good chance to talk about another piece of the real estate puzzle here in Northwest Arkansas. So, well, Tom Bramlett with A to Z Inspections, thank you so much for being on the show
Thank you for
today.
allowing me to come.
Hey, we are back, and now I am getting the chance to talk with Jeff Simpson of Believers Baptist Church, and they are hosting a special event this Friday, and we're going to talk about it, but we also have a special guest on the phone with us as well, and so we'll get a chance to visit with him a little bit as well. So, all right, so Jeff, Believers Baptist Church is in Southeast Rogers.
Right.
Tell us where we can find that.
The address is 924 South C Street. It is the the intersection of C Street and Mulberry.
Okay. Very good. And so this Friday, April 5th, you are featuring a couple of Christian rap artists.
Right.
How exciting. Now, have you ever done anything like this before at your
Nope,
church?
this is the first time.
So where did the idea come from?
Well, the idea is that we really would like to try to reach some of the teenagers in the area that are not already in church. And we wanted to be able to have a venue that would be appealing to them and would be able to get a gospel message across as well.
Yeah.
So the artists were, my son James actually put all this together, and he had previous contacts through his college
Yeah.
with Ezekiel, and so he kind of put this together, and it came on kind of quickly, and it's turning into something really good.
This is exciting. So do you have a big youth ministry there?
No, it's kind of waxed and waned through the years, and so we're kind of in a little bit more of a downtime numbers-wise, but the ministry itself is going very, very well. It's exciting what's going on.
Nice, nice. And I mean, and that side of Rogers has so many young people. What a great opportunity
Right.
to, have an event right here in your neighborhood. So it's really exciting. Now, how long have you been the pastor?
For 18 years, founded the church officially we're started in 2003, but we had been laying some groundwork as early as 2001.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So what's your goal with this event? What do you hope that will happen?
Well, we very much are interested in the ministry aspect of this. We have a young man who's going to be speaking who has some experience and a testimony connected to the drug world, and he's going to be speaking to young people specifically about that issue. So we want to be able to reach them. We want to be able to make contact with as many as we can, and to try to get this powerful message across.
That's exciting. Very cool. All right, so Lawrence, are you there? No, we don't have Lawrence.
Still working on that.
Hey, we might get Lawrence pretty quick, but we'll see. But this is the first time that I remember that we've brought anybody, tried to bring anybody in through the feed, so via telephone. So that's okay. We learn all the time. So is there a cost for tickets?
There is. It's $5 a person at the door. However, we do have a scholarship fund for if someone just really can't afford to do that.
Nice.
It's going to be paid for them.
Nice. And okay, so if people want to find out more information, where do they go?
They can go to our church's Facebook page, Believers Baptist Church in Rogers.
Okay.
Is the best source of information.
All right, Believers Baptist Church, Rogers, and I searched that, and I will try to remember to post that in the feed below so that you can go there and check out information on Lawrence Jamal and Ezekiel Garcia. Now, where are they out of? They aren't local, right?
Yes, they are local.
Are they local? We have rap artists local?
We do. Ezekiel,
I did not know that. That's very cool.
Ezekiel is a youth pastor it's north of Rogers, and so he and my son went to school together at Ouachita Baptist University. I don't know what brought Ezekiel up to this area, but he is a youth pastor in the area now, and he does this as well.
Isn't that neat? What a beautiful part of our community that I didn't know was there. We have Christian rap artists.
Right.
So, such a great opportunity. Well, hopefully this won't be the first time we get a chance to see them, and I hope that
Right.
this will make your church a destination as a home church for some youth out there that maybe are not connected to a church already.
Right.
There's just some really great things going on over in East Rogers, particularly Southeast Rogers. So anyway, anything else you want to tell us about the event or your church?
The doors open at 6:30. The concert starts at 7. There'll be some refreshments that are going to be available there, and I just hope have a lot of good turnout and have a great time that evening.
Excellent, excellent. All righty. Well, I guess if you don't have anything else you want to tell us about this, thank you so much for hosting this event for our community. It's exciting to see, somebody to innovate, innovate how we reach our youth in our community and local and, just in the neighborhood.
Right.
So in the hood, as I call it. I try not to sound like I'm old, but anyway, well, thank you so much, Jeff Simpson with Believers Baptist Church. And again, to find out more about that and get tickets if you'd like, and remember there is scholarships available, Believers Baptist Church in Rogers, and that should take you to the Facebook page, and you'll see that there is a post that has a couple of really cool Christian rap artists on there, and you can get more information there. So thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks be to God for his grace, the security in knowing that I've been purchased. Cause I've been out of my lane for a little while, chasing things that serve no purpose. As I've wandered aimlessly in this time, I felt the pleasure of sin and the effects of its curses. There's no way to take back the decisions I've made, no way under the sun to reverse this. You thought that Judas was bad? I promise you I gave a much worse kiss. The betrayal of my savior for the temporary satisfaction of Zeke, worthless. That's what I think of myself in my sin, but what's worse is I feed my body what it craves, just to regret moments after I'm in a worse pit. I'm married to the sin of my inner flesh. Lord, I need to divorce this. And yeah, it hurts like heck coming to the light, but it's time I admit this. I'm broken, I'm sinful, so please don't place me on a pedestal when this ends. No one said Christians are perfect. We've all felt the pain and hurt that our sin sends. Pursuing your desires alone is like a kid playing games with matches. He may feel cool making fire, but in time they're all gone and all he's left with is ashes. Don't think you're too good to make mistakes. Only a fool would be quick to dismiss this. So hear us, learn from this fool's mistakes. Because under the sun, no pleasure could ever match his.
We're back. Carrie, what a great segment you had with Jeff and our good friend Tom from A to Z Inspections. I'll tell you, events going on in Northwest Arkansas. Catherine, there's never a time that people are bored in Northwest Arkansas, but I'm happy to have Catherine Snellgrove with me this morning, Sales and Marketing Director from a wonderful place called War Eagle Mill. Welcome, Catherine.
Hi, Mike.
Thank you for being here. It is fantastic. I'll tell you, I have enjoyed visiting over the years War Eagle Mill. I've enjoyed attending the craft fairs out there, just going out, a great place for lunch, all the wonderful products you can buy out there. We're going to talk about, in fact, you've got some great products here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about that, but really wanted to get you here to talk about War Eagle Mill and kind of, what it is you're doing at the mill out there. So enlighten our wonderful viewers of the program about what's going on at the mill. I mean, my goodness, I'll tell you, people come from all around. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to show a video and talk about the beautiful scenery that's out there. But give us a little bit about what's going on at the mill and how long it's been kind of around, if you will.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for having me today.
Glad you're here. Glad I got you here anyway.
Well, the mill is quite an extraordinary place.
Sure.
It's a landmark. It's a place that a lot of tourists come and visit. It's been on the map since 1832, which is quite incredible.
Wow.
We have a very, very rich history. War Eagle Mill is located on the War Eagle River, and in the 1830s, this couple of pioneers came through the area and they decided to settle there. They built their house on one side of the river, and then they built that incredible grist mill on the opposite side. And at that time, we have to understand that there were not so many settlers in the area, and the mill was the center of the community.
Sure.
People would go there and meet the neighbors. They would bring their grain and literally mill around, wait around, for the grain to be milled, and that would give them the opportunity to meet their neighbors, get the news, the gossip, everything like this. So it was really, really an important place for the region. So the first mill was built in 1832. It was unfortunately destroyed in 1848 by a flood that took the whole thing. And the Blackburns, Catherine and Sylvanus Blackburn was their names, they had 5 sons. So they had the manpower to rebuild. So they rebuilt at that point. The second mill was actually destroyed during the Civil War.
Okay.
Because you know how we are in a region that was literally the North and the South fighting around here.
Right.
And for a few days we had one side camping then the other side came. And at some point the Confederate soldiers decided to burn the mill down.
Well, I'm going to see if I can get Jeremy a minute to run that video of the War Eagle Mill and Bridge, because I really think that gives a great overview here, but we'll continue to talk so we can just kind of see. I think, Jeremy, you'll have to hit the button again because there it goes. Go. Yes. So
what we see here is actually the historic bridge. That bridge was built in 1907. It is also a landmark, and you can see the river. And that river is a wonderful place if you want to go in the evening to go fishing, or you want to go with the kiddos, on the weekend and spend time. You can, put your feet in the water. You can fish. You can walk around. You see the mill itself.
And that's an actual working grist mill.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
It is extraordinary because it's the last working grist mill in Arkansas, and it is the last undershot mill in the country. And undershot, it means that the water runs under the wheel instead of over the wheel, which is the most common kind. So this version here is actually the 4th version of the mill. This one was built in 1973, based on the blueprints from 1872. So it is exactly the way it would have been 150 years ago.
And it's an 18-foot
wheel. Yes, so it's a cypress wheel. It actually works. It actually grinds corn every day.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you, the lay of the land here is spectacular. This is phenomenal.
It is very peaceful, you know. It has also a very rich Native American history. It's called War Eagle for a good reason. We had Osage Native tribes there.
Okay. Wow. Now, too, we were talking earlier about we have Hobbs State Park.
Absolutely.
And then the trails that go through there for bikes. And
Yes, no, Hobbs, I mean, we're literally on the edge of Hobbs and literally about a mile from their visitor center. So we are very, very close to the trailheads. All the people that go there with their horses or to go mountain biking or hiking, things like that, should really go to the mill. They can go for lunch, they can go just, you know, to have a drink before or after their ride.
Let's see if we can get Jeremy to give us a look inside the mill with the War Eagle video here we have inside the mill. And this is actually the grist mill itself. Inside, the wheels are turning there.
Yes.
And
so this is really over 100 years old. When the people rebuilt it in the 70s, they actually found this machine and installed it in the mill. So that machine has, in that red box that you see, it's got the stones that actually grind the corn. So we're literally processing products the way they were doing, you know, almost 200 years ago.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
And there it is. Showing
That's the
us-
corn.
That's the
And
corn.
that's what we turn it into. We can make cracked corn or cornmeal or corn flour
Okay.
from this
Okay.
machine.
And, you know, what's interesting too is the wonderful facility you have there in terms of coming for lunch. I mean, you were talking earlier about folks being able to come out for lunch. You've got some spectacular food that goes on out there as well.
So yes, what you can do if you come to the mill is not only walk around the grounds and, you know, look at the river and the bridge, but you can come inside. Our first floor has all our products for sale. We have a few samples here.
Yes, show us those.
And you can tell that what we're making is really super traditional. It's all organic. It's non-GMO, so it's good for you food, okay? And this is the kind of product that you can eat actually if you come to the Bean Palace for lunch. So we do all the corn products, but we also do flours, we do bread mixes, we do pancake, biscuit mixes, a lot of things. And then we have other food items from other local manufacturers because there's a lot of people around here that make wonderful products. And then you can go to the second floor of the mill and there's our local crafts. All made around here. You will find pottery and leather goods and jewelry and things like this. And then on the third floor, you have the Bean Palace. And the Bean Palace is open for breakfast and for lunch up to 4 in the afternoon.
4 in the afternoon. So I can come for a late lunch, early dinner.
Yes,
Very
you can even
nice.
come for a wonderful piece of cobbler in the afternoon with a cup of coffee, you know, after you go around Hobbs State Park.
Well, you know, one of the things that I always enjoy, and I've always noticed about the packaging, Catherine, that you all do at War Eagle Mill, is that you have some great recipes
Absolutely.
on the back of
Yeah.
these wonderful products that you can buy.
Absolutely. So every package offers ideas of recipe on the back, and then you can go to our website and get even more recipes.
Oh, well.
And most of them date for, you know, decades ago.
Biscuit mix. You can never go wrong with biscuit mix.
You can't.
And I'll tell you, the War Eagle Mill biscuits are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And really what I like about them is they start off with butter as one of the ingredients. You know,
absolutely.
Five tablespoons here of butter. I love butter.
Butter's good for you.
Butter's good for you. My good friends at Profile wouldn't think that, but I love butter, so. Catherine, you know, you've been there for a little while now, and kind of tell us how you are seeing things. The other day I was amazed when you were telling me that because of the location out at the mill, if you will, you all are still on dial-up out there. Now,
Oh my God.
You know, now I find that taking us back in time, if you will, on dial-up.
Well, some days it feels like we're on dial-up. We have modern technology, but we are about 30 minutes east of Rogers, 30 minutes east of Springdale. We're not that far out. No. It's a nice drive, you know, it's beautiful through the woods. It's really, really an exceptional location for people to go and discover this place. It's really worth the drive.
You've been in this position, like I talked about, a couple of months. What have you found that's been exciting? I mean, there's history in the building, there's just the sounds that you're hearing, and you go, wow, I mean, this takes me back in time, and, you know.
You know,
so.
People that work at the mill work there because they love it.
Yes.
It's a special place, you know, it has the peaceful quality of the valley, it has all the history, but I'm going to tell you, for me, what I'm glad is that we're providing good food to people, and we sell our products to a lot of the bakeries and the restaurants around here. People are more aware of what they're eating, and it's really a wonderful thing to be providing that good food to people around here. And we also, you know, we make those products and we ship them all around the country, and we represent Northwest Arkansas, you know, as a source for good food, natural food.
I don't know, Jeremy, can you roll that inside the mill again? I want to see if we can find the picture of the old cash register that's in there. That just takes me back. I mean, of course I'm 55, but I mean, it goes back even further than that. And I can't remember how long that video is, but I can't remember if it's in this video or not. But there's one of our videos there that we had that deals with just kind of what's in the store. And I found it so unique. I mean, there's just a lot of history in terms of bringing the kids out. There's plenty of room to just walk around. And again, if you like to bike, great opportunity for you to get out on your bike and kind of, you know, ride around on the trails that are there as well.
Absolutely.
And so it's just fantastic to me about, you know, what opportunities there are in a hidden gem, if you will, with War Eagle Mill.
We have a lot of items on display that date back to, you know, the earliest history of the mill.
Oh, and
so it's almost like a mini museum.
It is, and I think here's one for just recently done by some folks that were out there at War Eagle, and this is the outside of the, there it is right there, that's what I was looking for, and the old stove, if you will, that's there. And so just some beautiful scenery, opportunity to get a little bit of history, to see how back in the day we actually powered energy in terms of how things worked, using water of all things. And we have plenty of water around here to use, I know that. But our good friends at Tie-Dyed and Southern Fried ended up putting that little video together as a visit while they were out there, so that was neat. And Catherine, I know, you know, when it comes to the major holidays, it seems though there's just different things that go on out at the mill as far as kind of different events. But the big event I always love is in the fall with our good craft fair that happens there at War Eagle. And if there's not 1,000 people, I think there's hundreds of thousands of people that come for this event.
For us, it's the big event. We have throughout the year, every time you have a holiday, if you have Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, 4th of July, we always have a special menu.
Yes.
And we try to have activities for the kids as well. For Easter, we will have, you know, a special lunch, and then we will have an Easter egg hunt. Depending on the weather, we'll have it outside or inside, but we always try to do something like this. And through the summer, you know, we have regular events like this. And of course, the fall fair. So it attracts actually over 125,000 people in our valley.
125,000 people, and that's over 3 days, I believe.
Yes, exactly. It's over the weekend, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we have craft people that come from all over the United States to be there and sell their goods.
Yes.
So definitely there's plenty of parking, there's plenty of food. We always have music, you know, on the stage right by the mill. It's a really, really nice thing to do.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you know, again, the holidays, great food that you all have out there. Now, I'm assuming the restaurant, as usual, will be open at that point with the Easter egg hunt going on.
Yes, yes, we always have a special menu. So So get in line early because otherwise it's going to be gone. But yeah, no, come and enjoy, and we publish all our menus and events on our social media, so you can
How can they find you?
The best way, honestly, is either to go to the website at wareeaglemill.com
Okay.
or to follow us on Facebook. We will publish, the menus, the events, whatever is going on, you'll find it there.
Well, be sure, folks, to go out and like the Facebook page because there's a lot of neat stuff. They post the lunch specials going on out there. Great just, for ladies to get away for, a little bit of time and enjoy, shopping as well as dining out there.
And if you have a group also, we have special menus for groups, for school groups, for adults, for seniors. We always find something interesting for them to do. And, we have 2 millers on staff. We have people to give the tour. They will tell all the history about the mill. So it's instructive as well as entertaining.
And something else that struck me the other day that I thought was rather neat is that your products are not only at the mill,
No, of course,
but around Northwest Arkansas.
Absolutely. You can find them in different places, usually little independent shops around the region. We will be at the Peel Mansion on April 19 to do a demo and a tasting. If you've never been there, it's a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful place in Bentonville as well. So come and find us there on the 19th.
We may have to, Jeremy, get over there and do a little video run with my good friend Catherine here and see about all of the folks that are going to be at the Peel. And we need an inside look, I think, at the Peel as well. I think that'd be good to do that. So we'll have to come over. And,
Absolutely. I'm sure they would love to have you.
Not you necessarily. No, I'm just kidding. But well, Catherine, it's been great to have you on again. Folks, get out, get the opportunity. First of all, not only can you find War Eagle products online, over the website, you can go directly to War Eagle Mill. I would highly encourage going out, spending some time out there. Even on the weekend, they're open, and that's a great thing.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but find them on social media, connect with them. Great opportunity, great place. It's really a hidden gem here in Northwest Arkansas.
Absolutely.
And Catherine, I can't thank you enough for being on the program
to
let me twist your arm to get you out here and talk about these wonderful products that y'all have.
My pleasure.
Well, again, next weekend, be sure to start looking over social media for all of the different events coming up for Easter between War Eagle Mill, Village on the Park, folks. Anything that your kiddos want to do here in Northwest Arkansas, there is plenty to do. I will tell you that. Plenty of Easter eggs to be had, that's for sure. Well, here in a few minutes, Carrie and I are going to wrap up the program. But for now, neighbors, we will be right back.
I was looking for a place where my mom would be safe and where if she fell, I knew somebody could get to her. I needed to know she could get her food, her meals. I needed to know that she wasn't alone and lonely.
It's tailored, it's individualized. Every resident seems to get what they need individually, and there is a real concern for what that individual need is. And there are people here to accommodate that without being condescending, and really lifting up the resident. That makes a huge difference.
Coming here and be able to share your life together and become an extended family for each other. It's what's really been great for us. We love it.
I think my mother really feels very much at home. She loves her living space. She has a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, very cozy place. All of the things that she loves that really, really worked are there in place in a beautiful way.
The people around here are so friendly and willing to do most things, and they have so many activities for us planned every single day. They give us a activities chart every month, even for the restaurant. They give us a menu every day. Every week we get a new menu, so we know what we're going to eat.
I can't tell you how my mom she's just blossomed. She's so happy here. and she looks 10 years younger. She's walking much more. She got no exercise at her home. She's walking all over the place, and she's become very social, which I never thought my mom was very social. And she just, it's saved her life. It really has.
Well, we're back. Wow, what a express service on our show today.
Wow. I mean, you clipped through some stuff.
We
so
zoomed
lots
through.
of good stuff, though.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, when Jeremy's back there behind the scenes, he's like, click, 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 let's go, let's go.
The man behind the camera, guys.
The man behind the camera, keeping us two talkies from talking so much.
Well, I tell you, there's just so much, you know, we have just such a plethora,
Yes.
a cornucopia of things that we can do with technology, and the more stuff we get, the more I just I have to wash my hands of all of it and count on people who know what the heck they're doing.
Exactly. Well, I laughed. So last night I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to download these various videos because I don't have my technological genius, Dawson, behind the scenes trying to do this for me. He was involved in homework last night. Can you believe that? Actually doing homework. And so I'm sitting here like Jeremy this morning, just sweat rolling off of me trying to figure out. So this morning I was laughing internally about poor Jeremy sitting here just sweating through the whole process of trying something. And you know, last night he calls me all excited, Jeremy does, and said, Mike, this is no sweat. We got this thing lined up. We're good to go. You know, it's like he's sitting back in the old easy chair like this, you know. This morning, it just...
You know, I knew there was trouble when I saw him with a towel wiping his face, and I was like, man, I spend enough time behind the scenes of the band,
Yes,
knowing that when they start wiping their face with a towel,
that it's something else there.
things are not going as smoothly as would be preferred.
Yes, yes. It's not a good time to crack jokes either.
There's nothing funny about technology.
No, there's not. No. That's why I think he actually shaves his head so he doesn't have to worry about pulling any hair. It's just.
Man.
Oh, well, you know, we have to laugh with Jeremy because at the end of the day, it just gets down to its technology, and he experiences it every day. I'm surprised that, honestly, Carrie, he has any pulse left in doing all these computer things for companies. I mean, not only is he doing it here, but he's doing it for small and medium, large-sized businesses that their technology goes down, and then they're looking at him. He's like the doctor. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. He's like the surgeon that goes in and this computer is dead or the system is down, and he's trying to just, you know, revive it.
You know, the beautiful thing about it is that we have total control over our computer's medical care.
Yes, we do.
In a way that we don't have. with Medicare and Medicaid and things like that.
We should.
Like, I feel like I still have control. The day that they decide that government needs to take over our technology, it will be the end of the road. There will be, I mean, at least.
Well, I claim, you know, I have service with Cox, and I claim that, you know, in one sense for my cable and network service, internet service, all of that, Arlene always laughs when I buy the insurance policy because she's like, why do you buy? Why do you bother? Why do you buy this policy? The other day, case in point, here it was, I needed to hardwire into a jack in our wall, went to do it, the jack wasn't working. So I call our good friends at Cox. Well, Mr. Finke, do you have Cox Complete Care? Well, I think I do. Well, if not, that's $75 an hour while we're standing there, and it's $125 for the drive just to leave the building to get to the... I'm like, wait a minute, let me kick in here a minute.
What is that $200 I pay every month? What is that? Is that for candy? Is that chocolates? Sorry.
So anyway, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the lady comes back. Oh, yes, Mr. Finke, you do have Complete Care. Yes, I knew I had Complete Care.
Dave Ramsey would be sad.
Yes, he would.
Michael, he would just be shaking his head.
I know. Exactly. You know, first of all, paying for cable. Second, the insurance policy. But thank goodness it was on Cox and not on me, except for my extra $10 a month I pay for Cox complete care.
Wow, $10 is all that costs?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Well,
It's
you know,
not-
the other day they came out, we had moved, and I have not plugged in my landline. Yes, I still have a landline. I'm old. But yeah, I still have a
Dial up?
landline. Yeah, well, and and I hadn't ever plugged it in, so I didn't know it didn't work. And so they said, well, it'll be $60 to come out and do that. My husband's going, do you want to do that? Do we really need this? And I said, yes, I want my landline because I'm old. And so
Ring, ring, ring.
I know. So anyway, and so they go, oh, it'll be $60. But when the tech came out, he goes, you know, I don't see where I'm supposed to charge for this. And so I didn't get charged.
Well, there you go. See,
There
praise
you go.
God.
So you
That
never
was a
know.
blessing.
But yeah, we've had them out there. They should have checked that.
They should have.
So, but yeah, but after a year in my house, I finally plugged in my landline. And guess what I got?
What?
Robocalls. But there's some legislation kind of going on at the state and national level now.
Really?
that-
What's
that
going on?
Well, I haven't looked at the details,
Okay.
but they're talking about jail for like robocall people, and I'm going, how do we put Catherine with Cardholder Services in jail?
Exactly.
Does she exist?
Yeah, and
Is there,
she's
like,
out of state.
virtual? She's probably like in, what is it, Bahamas,
Dubai.
Jamaica?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are we going to? Some of these laws that we're trying to
How do you
throw on the
enforce
books
this?
are beyond idiocy
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we want restitution and stuff like that, but you know, I mean, I play my own personal game. If I happen to pick up the phone and it's one of them, I play a game to see who gets hung up on
Really? What
first.
game do you play?
I try to wear them out. When they hang up on me,
Kinda like the
I won
Mormons.
the game. I won the game. So
You won the game. There you go.
yeah, don't you waste my time because I'm gonna make you hurt.
You're going to leave them hanging on for
It
the.
may be stupid, but you're gonna hang up on me.
Oh,
So-
wow. Wow. Well, we had a great program this morning. We started out with, goodness, just our great friend Jared talking about the Easter egg hunt, getting through that. I think he's going to be in for a surprise with all of these kids showing up for the Easter egg.
So it's not for the people who live here at Village
Well,
on the Park?
it's for everybody. So it's open to the public, and it's for the folks here to bring the kids and the grandkids.
How
and
fun to have all
Exactly.
those kids on the campus here.
Well, and they're going to have,
That's
you
gonna be
know, the
awesome.
bouncy house. They're going to have lunch, food rather. They're going to have all of this stuff.
You know, the
And
grounds here are just stunning.
They are.
You know, it's all Bermuda grass, so
Well-
it's still, you know, brown, but everything is starting to green up, and the grounds are just so spacious and beautiful,
Mm.
and there's so much sunshine here. So I just can't even imagine how awesome it's going to be
Oh,
to
and-
see it covered with children.
Exactly, and the weather will
Easter
be
eggs.
beautiful that day, so it'll be fantastic. And you got to speak with several different folks today. You got Tom Bramble from A to Z Inspection, Bramlett.
Yeah.
And so Tom had some great tips to talk about.
You know, we did. I mean, and we got to, you know, one of his specialties is air quality and mold and things like that.
Oh.
And not all inspectors are, I mean, they can detect it, but
Sure.
there's a lot to know about it. Not all mold is toxic.
No.
And there's certain things that have to be remediated. But I thought it was really an important point that to have a house inspected before it is passed over to the new homeowners.
Yes.
Before it goes on the market. I thought that was terribly interesting that builders were having homes inspected before they sold them. You know, because
Yep.
there's so many things that can happen in that builder contractor. There are so many moving parts in new construction that it's just, and products fail.
They do. And
They fail from the factory. It had nothing to do with installation. So
No. And, you know, even though, and again, we've talked numerous times about remodel projects and getting that house ready, that existing home, and then all of a sudden it's goodness, maybe I should have this inspected, you know, even though,
Right.
so that I know what's going on first before the regular inspection happens. And then that way I cover off on a lot of this stuff before I get ahead of it rather than
Exactly.
I'm
You
not
don't wanna be
surprised by it.
Well, and there's so many people that buy a house for the first time.
They do.
And they are so frightened by what they saw on HGTV or, you know, some random thing that made a news story.
Well-
I mean, mold can be scary, but, you know, lots of stuff creates mold.
It does.
You know, it could be a
and-
simple leak. It could be, you know, hey, air your house out, you know.
Exactly. You know, sometimes we laugh about folks in the spring as they open up all the windows and all that dust and pollen comes in and everything else.
Do you know,
But
and that surprises me because one of the most important, and we talked about this, one of the most important things we can do is crack our windows
Crack our
once a
windows.
week and, you know,
Yep.
crack 2 or 3 windows in the house for an hour. You'd be surprised. It really doesn't affect the temperature of your house and it kind of
No.
gives your house a chance to, you know, force some air out the windows and recirculate some things. And to me, it's worth a little pollen, even in the spring.
it is, and you know, I grew up in the day where we had, you know, screen doors on, you know, going out into
yeah.
the garage, and we could open up the garage door and screen doors or storm doors on the front of our house that, you know, had the ability to ventilate, to, you know, have the storm door, but yet, you know, let the air in. And today we just seal it all up, you know.
I know, yeah, we're not talking
We
about
live in a vacuum.
throwing all the windows open wide and let the oak pollen come in and coat all your furniture. I mean, we're just talking about, hey, you know, crack a half inch.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
and I get guilty of
super
that.
important.
Arlene loves to do that, and sometimes I'm like, really? And then I think, no, I should have done that because again, gets rid of, you know, all the stuff that just comes in anyway. In terms
Well,
of,
yeah, and well, in a
So-
forced air system, if your heat's running or your air conditioning, it's pushing the stuff out the windows
Oh,
anyway.
it is.
So
it is.
it's super important.
Well, and then we had another, you had another great interview with our good friends from Believers Baptist Church, Jeff Simpson there, and so that was great.
We
to
have
talk-
Christian rap artists here.
Yeah, we do. Imagine
I mean,
that,
these guys
you know?
live here.
Exactly.
How
They
awesome
are
is that?
here. And so Ezekiel Garcia and Lawrence Jamal coming to the event. You know, so that's, you know, fantastic. I think it's a great way for our youth of today to connect to Christ. And that's what it's all about. We end up, you know, I was talking with folks in our church the other day about the issue of Dawson has turned 18. So he's soon to be out of youth
Yeah.
at church. And so what is that next step in terms of, you know, some churches have kind of that college-bound,
Yeah.
you know, program, but a lot don't. And so I think that's where we leave it on the sidelines some because we think, well, those kids are ready to transition into adult church, and they're not.
And they're not. Well, and the
No.
message is different. You know, every church
It
is
is.
different. You know, every church's culture will be different. Some of
Yes.
them, you know, it kind of depends. There's people who influence what's going on in your church, and they may have super small children, and they're not even on the radar of, I mean, these kids that are aging out
Exactly.
of youth church.
Yep.
You know, and then we send them off to college where they're exposed to, you know, people with sometimes worldviews that are different outside what we raised them with, and we go, did we prepare them properly?
Exactly.
You know, because they're getting a chance to be influenced outside of their family. I mean, not that kids at school weren't like incredible influences. Y'all
Yes.
have conversations with your kids, because if you don't talk about like the sensitive stuff, the kids, the expert witnesses at school, are
Huh?
going to be able to share a lot of information with your kids.
Well, and I'll tell you yes, influence. And here was something along the lines of influence just yesterday. I was reading in a news clip where 2 young men, can't recall where here in the United States, but 2 young men who were involved in a fraternity ended up now being charged and going to prison, going to serve time for a hazing, quote unquote, that went bad, and the individual that was subjected to the hazing ended up dying. And so, you know,
heartbreaking.
it is. And that's that influence where that young man that was subjected to that issue at hand, you know, here it was, he was a football player, you know, all of the different things, kind of the model kid and everything, and then went off to college and joined a fraternity. And not all fraternities are bad, not all fraternities are good. You really, that's where you're preparing.
But you're dealing with a population of people who have not quite got their frontal lobe developed.
Correct.
Where are the adults?
Yes, and the influence, again, that was had on that individual and then the outcome of it. So yes, it is. And so as parents, it makes us step back and go, look, there are times when you have to really still be involved in your kids' lives. It's not the minute they leave or go to college that you're turning them loose. It's the minute of, look, this is yet that heightened awareness.
You just hope you prepared them for everything, but then there's people around them that their parents didn't prepare them for everything, and then they could be a victim in a moment like that.
They can, and when
That is heartbreaking.
and yet I look back to individuals like Lawrence Jamal and Ezekiel Garcia, and I go, if the word through the music can touch young people's lives, then whether I understand the music or the words, because
Whether
you know,
I like rap
or exactly, it's about if that is the medium connecting those kids to know the straight and narrow, to know the road ahead, then by all means, I'm all for folks like Ezekiel and Lawrence, because that.
I have a friend who's a missionary, and he was missionary professor of missions at Oral Roberts University
Oh,
for 10
wow.
years, and he's actually been a missionary outside the U.S. longer than he's lived in the U.S. And he talks about contextualization being so key in the gospel message.
It is.
You know, you need to, you know, when sometimes it's hard to see the context of that story within the Bible, to be able to translate that to the context, you know, for teenagers, that context, you know, may not be Psalms, it may be the Psalms played out in a rap song.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
the context is such an important factor in delivering the message.
It is, and we're seeing churches today who, you know, are tuning into that and staying alive. We see other churches who are still there and dying in one sense. And yes, it's hard to appeal, and it is yet needed to appeal in terms of all audiences. And so it's hard. I've got a friend of mine in Kansas City, and he says, Mike, I enjoy the old organ.
Right.
I enjoy that. But he said, the kid sitting next to me, he said, is so far gone in a nap, it's not even funny.
I know. Well, and I think this is one of the beautiful things about living in Northwest Arkansas is.
It is.
You know, I've heard it called the belt buckle of the Bible Belt.
Yes.
You have a lot of choices here.
You do.
It's incredible how many choices you have to find for your way to worship.
Well, and I'll tell you, you know, we and talk about God's beautiful majesty at the end of the day through, you know, just nature in and of itself, and that was our interview with Catherine at War Eagle, and she had just, I'll tell you, the scenery at War Eagle always amazes me. Coming over the bridge, the water, the old mill itself, and
What an amazing structure that is.
and was basically wiped off the map 3 times and rebuilt, and to its original specs from the original design.
See, we need some of those people from that Benton County Historical Society to come on once in a while and tell us a story. I want to hear about the courthouse being burned down by soldiers. I want to hear about, you know, where we almost lost the mill forever.
Exactly. And, you know, you know, here was a man determined to rebuild, and he had 5 kids, and he rebuilt basically 3 times. And the 3rd time, it was his son that ended up doing the rebuild because Dad had since passed. And so, you know, here it was the history that lived on in that. Today, our history lives on in Facebook. Our history lives on in, I was talking to someone yesterday, as a matter of fact, Carrie, about how we, as a society today, really have gotten away from spending time with family and our relatives and our in-laws. We used to, growing up, we used to get together with everybody.
Yeah.
And today we can't stand to be around everybody.
And we get around, we get around and we tell stories.
Exactly.
And those stories live on, and now we're capturing a moment, with our phones. And I one time, this is a funny story. One time, my husband and I, it wasn't really my husband's vision for this, but we got a house in Maine, and it was big enough for us to bring, and our families are not big.
Sure.
And it was a chance for my parents to come up and my brother and his family to come up, and we were close enough that his sister could come up. I mean, it was up in Maine, they're in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania. Yeah. What could go wrong with this, right? And then we would come up, and my dad would go up as well. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing how our families were just like, why would we do this? Mm-hmm. And can we just not video conference? Can we video conference? Because so anyway, so we got like half of our family there, and we had an amazing time. It was, it was the last vacation we were able to take with my dad, and it was the trip that my daughter realized we didn't know at the time she was pregnant with her first child.
There you go.
I mean, so there was just such a neat moment in time, and we never argued, and we ate a lot of food every day we went to the grocery store. So
that's the best thing.
It was like, and of course, there's nothing to do in Maine if you're not like a hiker or a sailboat person.
Well, again,
it was amazing though.
Dating myself on Murder, She Wrote with Jessica.
She wrote.
I'm like, look, she was jogging through the little town of Maine or whatever. So, obviously an outdoor, type event that, as far as the previews of the show, showing her jogging and bicycling through town, and so
I can totally see why people would do that. I mean, pretty much you go around town with your bicycle and your kayak on your. I mean, it's like, so if you're not doing any of that, then.
And we do it here: bicycling, kayaking, walking,
there
hiking.
You go.
We do it. Yeah. Exactly. No.
It's going to be just all bicycling. And
exactly. They'll
kayaking.
take away the shopping mall. Somebody in in Little Rock, the state capital, will say it's time to do away with all these shopping malls. We're just going to ban them from.
This legislative session needs to end before they come up with more.
I think they're getting bored. I think that's.
Do you know that they were talking about, one of the things they wanted to talk about this time was adding an annual legislative session.
Annual legislative
Okay,
session.
they don't go down to Little Rock to get rid of old laws. I kind of thought they miss an opportunity to do that, but I'm not a state legislator.
Well, maybe that's the next step
Yeah,
for you.
so yeah, maybe. So I'm praying about that now, but I'm not sure I see that. It's that drive to Little Rock.
Get on a plane and fly. Charge the taxpayer. Who cares?
This would be the state legislature, not the federal. The rules are completely different, especially in Arkansas.
I don't know
We're
anymore.
like,
That all
we're not
kinda
spending more
starts to-
money here than we have to. So,
Cecile's going to call me up and go, Mike, now quit dissing on the state legislators.
I tell you, the people who, for those of you who watch and don't realize, the legislative session happens every other year. And it's about, 100 days or something
Yes,
like that.
100 days.
They introduce 147,000 bills.
It's like they just cram them all in those 100 days.
And of course, somebody wants to get rid of daylight savings time.
Exactly.
And for some reason, we still have it. I just don't know. But I think
I'm waiting for windmills here next.
Windmills, well, anyway, the legislative session is almost over. We don't know what new taxes we're really going to see. There's like all these different things, but until the dust settles on the tax picture, I don't think you really know.
No.
But guess what? They never take the taxes away.
No.
When you see the bottom line, it's the same thing.
I'll probably get shot for this. I'm just going to say it anyway. I'm just in favor of paying my tax when I go to the grocery store and figure all of it in at that point and be done with it. And then that way I don't have to sit there and fill out a form and get somebody to figure out how to computate the equation to figure out if it appeases the IRS. At the end of the day, I'm done with that.
Well, the beautiful thing about sales tax, and I'm not a huge fan of tax, period, but,
I'm not either.
we got to pay for stuff somehow.
Yep.
The beautiful thing about sales tax is that when people come to visit and they eat in our restaurants and stay in our hotels, they help support the tax infrastructure. So when I
They
see
do.
people visiting here, when I see these Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue
Bring 'em
and craft
all.
fair, I'm like, hey, y'all.
Come on in.
We love you guys.
We
We
love
love
you,
you guys
yeah.
because it's actually cheaper for us to live here because we open our doors and have these, LPGA and
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, all kinds of new stuff that we're getting. We love it when people are coming here. So while I don't love sales tax and, part of the big picture, it does hurt us a little bit in attracting corporations here. But
Yes.
that's why I'm a fan of, growing your own businesses and your own business success here
Well,
in Northwest Arkansas.
Wrapping this up a little bit, I think that when we get to the point of taking forever to get our roads done, I love the guys at the State Highway Department, but I'll tell you, these road projects go on forever. At least it seems that way. It's not really that way,
You would
but
be
it
correct,
seems
yeah.
that way.
Well, and it
you know.
depends whether it's contracted out or
Yes.
whether the municipality handles
Exactly.
it. And I think there's cities, there are cities around here that they do have the know-how in-house,
Mm-hmm.
but the reality is that you start a project and you think it's going to be 3 months and it turns into 3 years because life happens. Because you have a massive flood and it takes out some other projects. And
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't make sense for us to do those projects in-house sometimes.
Yes, and the other day I was laughing. Dawson was in the back of the van with us, and he was like, "Dad, here is this entire third lane on the bypass that is closed. Why is it always closed? It looks like it's paved from one end to the other."
It's because we can't properly merge without wiping out the people in the middle lane.
In the middle lane, yes.
If we could drive Dawson, the world would be much easier.
Well, I'm waiting for our transit, our subways and our buses here, and so far we don't,
Yeah,
we don't
good
have
luck
those.
with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's called good luck with that. As long as we got room for parking lots, we are never going to get massive.
No.
We do not want to.
No, we don't want that.
I mean, if you're homeless, you still got a car. I mean, we are so car centric.
Exactly, and I don't want to knock Uber and Lyft and all those guys out of the picture, or the taxi companies we have here, because
those are good side hustles.
those are good side hustles. They really are. So, well, we've come to the conclusion of a wonderful time with our show today. We've had some great guests. Again, Catherine with all of the wonderful things from War Eagle. I'll tell you, get out there, buy some stuff, have lunch. It is a great place to be. But more importantly, I think now we're going to thank our sponsors and get on with the day. But I will tell you this. I'm excited, folks. Please come out to Believers Baptist Church this coming Friday night, April the 5th, I believe.
C Street and Mulberry
C
in
Street
Rogers.
and Mulberry, and see a couple of great guys that are believers in the Word, Lawrence Jamal and Ezekiel Garcia. They've got a great message that they want to share with folks through music and through rap.
Yeah,
And
share
so-
the story with the young people in your life.
Exactly.
It's important.
Exactly, and the cost is really minimal, $5.
$5, yeah, and if you need, they have some scholarship money available. So
There you go. Well, we're going to sign off by thanking our sponsors, our good friends here at Village on the Park. Of course, Jeremy is always behind the scenes with Web Untied. Music Works, KR Promotions, our good friends at Amp Electric, Profile by Sanford, Barton Consulting with Dr. Charlie Barton, Ignite Chiropractic, Soar with Eagles. Carrie, thank you for joining us. Simply Cool, our good friend Dr. Cool, and Johnny Brusco's got some great pizza over there. Meteor Guitar Gallery, our good friend Les downtown on the square. Kumon Learning Centers, Nuclear Health and Fitness, our good friends at Enchanted Designs. Look at these flowers. they brought
you
today.
can't. We don't have smell-o-vision, but I can't believe how good these smell. They're amazing, and they've used Dusty Millers in here.
Yes.
You
look at that.
know, I've never seen anybody use Dusty Millers, and look at their little velvety leaves.
Carla and her group over there do a fantastic design on all of their flowers, and we can't thank them enough for bringing these to
I
us.
know, they're just amazing, and they're just so unique. I
They are.
mean, it's not your typical bouquets.
Nope,
They have all
it's
kinds
not.
of beautiful things that are beautiful and unique.
It is an artistry and rhythm to me in how they do this. Absolutely just beautiful in how they do this. And Carla has certainly had years of experience with her friends and gang over there at Enchanted Designs.
Yeah.
They are wonderful. And
Buy your loved ones some flowers.
Exactly.
Enchanted Design.
Yes, and Spicer Insurance Agency with Rita Spicer at Nationwide. Be sure to get out and see Rita for all your insurance needs. Well, until next week, Carrie, thank you for being on the program. I appreciate you so much. And thank you all for joining us. And next week, we will definitely try to minimize those technical difficulties. Until next week, folks, I'm Michael, and we've got Carrie here with us this morning.
And Jeremy.
And Jeremy, yay,
The man
Jeremy.
behind the camera.
Until next week, good morning, neighbors.